A coroner's inquest into the death of Miles Gray continues in BC. The 33-year-old unarmed man died after an altercation with Vancouver police nearly 9 years ago. Today, his family heard an audio recording from that day of police calling for an ambulance after Gray was beaten.
When we heard that audio, it spoke nothing that he was being tortured and he was in agony, like he was screaming.
A Vancouver police officer also testified at the inquest, the first member of the force to speak publicly about the case in more than 7 years. The purpose of the inquest is to determine the facts around Gray's death. That includes what caused it. A forensic pathologist has said he's unable to rule out something called excited delirium. It's a term that's being used to explain deaths of people in encounters with police. Christine Burak explains what exactly the term means and why experts are shifting away from it.
Excited delirium has been used to explain why hundreds of people have died in police custody. These videos are difficult to watch. From the knee on George Floyd's neck to the death of Abdi Rahman Abdi in Ottawa and Robert Jacansky at the Vancouver airport. Doctors have argued the term excited delirium is unscientific and used to protect police officers from being held accountable. Now, after decades of debate, many American and Canadian medical examiners and coroners say they're shifting away from using excited delirium as a cause of death.
If you say it's excited delirium, it's basically the fault of the person who died.
Dr. Michael Freeman teaches forensic medicine at Oregon Health and Science University. He says excited delirium is often used to describe a state of aggression and distress, generally linked to drug use or mental illness. Freeman co-authored a review examining the role of restraint in fatal excited delirium cases. The review found no evidence to support excited delirium as a cause of death in the absence of restraint, noting asphyxia must be considered a likely cause of death.
The more aggressive the restraint, the more likely they were to die. Well, that's pretty good scientific evidence that it's the restraint that's the killer.
I wholeheartedly welcome the shift. I think it's the right thing.
Psychiatrists have long dismissed excited delirium as a medical diagnosis.
It is a description of pre-hospital behavior that does not explain someone's death, in my view.
So, Christine, you talk about this shift that's happening. Where do coroners across the country stand on excited delirium?
We reached out to all the provinces, and coroners in BC, Alberta, Manitoba, and Newfoundland all told CBC News they no longer recognize excited delirium as a cause of death. Only New Brunswick would say it still does. But here's the thing, whether the medical community recognizes excited delirium or not, police forces can say they believe it's a factor. The doctors we spoke with say they don't think that's helpful. They understand policing is a dangerous and difficult job, but they're really hoping that police forces will make more changes to officer training and procedures and protocols for restraint and dealing with people in distress.
All right, Christine, thank you.
You're welcome.
Coming up, tourist spots are expected